Rob here with Guys, Games, and Beer, and I'm here with...
I'm Brian.
And...
I am Brent Chumley from The Art of Brent Chumley.
And we're going to be talking art today here on Guys, Games, and Beer, folks. All right, let's talk about some art. And what have you done? I believe you've got some samples over there?
I do have samples. I have samples, as a matter of fact, that I brought with me. But to answer your question, I've been working in the gaming industry for about 20 years now. I think like 19 and a half or something, to be exact.
That's like forever now.
That's a long time, yes. So therefore, I have done a lot of work for a number of gaming companies, many of which whom are represented here at GameHoleCon. And some of them include Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons & Dragons line, 3.5 edition, the Dragonfire collectible or deck building card game, Legend of the Five Rings for many years, Doomtown Reloaded, Metal Magic and Lore, and recently Argent Saga, which that stuff is not quite out yet, but it will be soon, and a plethora of other games, some of which are yet to come. Another one I should mention is Shadowrun and the upcoming new rebranding of BattleTech, as a matter of fact. So those are just to name a few.
That's
so
a hell of a resume.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's a lot of different things. I've done, I don't know how many hundreds of pieces over the last 20 years, but it's a lot of work.
So what kind of artistic background or training do you have?
All right. Well, I started as a little kid, just picking up a pencil and drawing what I could see, like a lot of other artists do. And from there, as far as formal training goes, I attended college at Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville, and I got a degree, a bachelor's degree in art and design from there. And then from that point, I actually studied to be an art teacher, believe it or not, and I didn't like that path. And I decided that it wasn't for me, and that's okay. And so I decided, I wanted to do this for a living. This is what I wanted to pursue. It had been all my life, so that's what I did.
Yeah, and for our G2B viewers out there, where are you based out of?
I am based out of a small town in middle Illinois called Hillsboro, actually a little subdivision called Taylor Springs. But it's about an hour south of Springfield, which is the capital, and I'm about an hour and 15 minutes north of downtown St. Louis. So I'm in that little pocket in between St. Louis and Springfield.
Very, very, very cool. So you brought some samples of your artwork?
Yes, I did.
What
yes.
are some of the themes, or what are some of your favorite subjects that you like to work on?
Well, my favorite subject is dragons. I love dragons. Yeah, exactly. And they're a staple in fantasy, movies, art, fiction, everything else. But they're one of my favorite things to illustrate and draw and bring to life, just because I've loved them ever since I was a kid. And I don't know, I seem like they resonate with me somehow.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. I hope so. I hope that my art brings happiness and entertainment to the people that look at it and enjoy it. So.
Speaking of, how do you start getting into this kind of artwork?
Well, I'll tell you what, as far as just liking fantasy sci-fi type stuff, just drawing it as a kid is one thing, but as far as like breaking into the industry, is that what you're asking me? Or
yeah,
okay,
that'd be great to talk
breaking
about.
into the industry, how I did it is the good old-fashioned way, before the internet broke big and before you had YouTube and Facebook and all of these other social media sites. And what I did is I went to large conventions like Gen Con and Origins and places like that. And hey, that's all right. I'll take one light.
Welcome to light number 2.
That's exactly right.
Light number 2.
And what I did is I literally peddled my portfolio around, just like you do in the old days, and shopped it around until finally I had a company out of England that looked at my portfolio and said, "You're exactly the kind of art that we're looking for, and we'd like to hire you for freelance." And so I started working with them on a lot of Dungeons & Dragons 3rd and 3.5 third-party products back in 2000, 2001, that era. And that's what got me started in. And from there, of course, I portfolio built with them and with a few other companies. And, of course, building a portfolio that way, other companies started seeing my work and, on down the road. And
the old-fashioned elbow grease method.
The old-fashioned, feet to the asphalt and actually getting out there and just hoofing it and doing it the old-fashioned way. Now, of course, young artists today have all the social media that they can play with, and of course I incorporate some of that as well. But when I started, I did it the old-fashioned way.
think it's harder to get in now than it was at the beginning, or do you think it was harder at the beginning?
Well, it's kind of like anything else out there. It's a double-edged sword. Some things get easier while other things get harder. So I really can't answer whether I think it would be harder now or easier based on the technology. I think people that don't have massive portfolios built up or haven't spent a lot of time doing it have an easier time getting their work seen by using social media sites and internet, connections and internet sites and things like that. But as far as getting seen by companies that you want to publish, if you're not wanting to self-publish or, go that route, then I think just getting out there and going to conventions, talking to artists, seeing what other people have done that are that have broke in, that are doing it, and listening to some of them and taking their advice and shopping your stuff out in front of them. Get it seen however you can. So
I think there's an interesting music parallel there. In 2019, you have advantages over recording from 30 years ago in that you can record yourself, and through via social media you can get yourself out there pretty much as hard as you want to work. At the same time, though, there are 10 million more other people that are also using the same format. So while you have more opportunity, there's also more competition.
That's correct.
I would imagine this is similar.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
It is. You do have a lot more competition, but however, like with photography and with music and everything else, not all of it's good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the quality level, the
bet.
quality control, the social media thing changes everything about quality control, because anybody from any level of skill with music, art, any entertainment field can put their stuff out there to get seen, but it doesn't necessarily make it good. So.
All right. Well, let's examine some of your pieces, shall we?
Thank you. Might you hold my beer for a moment?
All right. I don't know how well these will hold up.
I could
camera,
say,
but,
hold my beer. All right.
And I can help hold as well.
Sure.
If you wish.
Thank you. Yes.
So, all right. First one. All right.
So this is a cover painting to a game called Stars of Empire. And what it is a Victorian-era steampunk-styled piece with which the techniques I use, because everyone asks me what my techniques are.
Yeah, is this showing up all right? Should I bring it a little closer?
Too much gloss.
All right.
Sure. The techniques I use, because I come from a traditional art background, I draw everything by hand on paper, and then I scan it into the computer and use a software program like Photoshop or a few others that I use. And I use traditional painting techniques that I developed and learned from traditional days of painting, and I brought those straight over to the digital format. So I still mix my colors, blend them, paint, blend, and everything just like I do with real paintbrushes, which I still do use traditional medium for my own personal work and various projects, but for my professional work in the industry, it's all done in this fashion.
Next piece is, it looks like a dragon and a fighter pilot.
Yes, that was also done for the cover of a game that never was published. Hopefully one day it will. But I'll tell you what, that piece has garnered me a lot of success and a lot of jobs and employment in the industry, and it is one of my top-selling pieces of all time. So I like to call it The Chase, and I do this whole thing that's called Dragon Versus, which is my new IP, which is dragons fighting various military craft from different time periods and or other monsters and things like that. So
That's a dichotomy of that is super cool.
thank you.
Next piece,
Me? Oh, I'm sorry. Which is my next piece here? Oh, yes. This is the cover of the new book called On Wings of Darkness by Bruce Hurd, who writes the Kaladar setting for various 5th edition and other game settings it can be adapted to. And this was just published over the summer. Back in June it was released. And it just required a couple of large airships that use masts and magic, as you will, to fly about and combat one another and do other things. And it's been this is the first show that I've actually brought it out. This is the first time it's really been seen much, and it has been a huge hit this weekend. All right. Okay. Another one of my Dragon Versus pieces, which is a dragon versus a Nazi Germany Tiger 1 tank. So What I like to do with these kind of pieces is I like to leave them a little open-ended so that the viewer can make their own conclusion as to what's going to happen or how the outcome is going to be. I don't like to fully tell the story. I would rather them plug it into place.
Yes, it's always good to have dragons fighting the traditional forces of evil.
Indeed, yes.
So as you do this work, do you accept commissions?
Yes, I do. I try to fit them in, of course, between my other commissions and companies and corporations that I work with. So it's a little hard to find the time sometimes, but yes, I do.
Great. And for the G2B viewers out there, you do have social media now. Fortunate for you.
Yes, I do.
Fortunate for them. Where can we find you on various social media platforms?
Right now, I have The Art of Brent Chumley on Facebook that you can go and see large portions of my portfolio and current works. I also have BrentChumley.com, which is soon to be released. It's an updated version of my website. It will have a shop on there that you can purchase my prints, T-shirts, playmats, mouse pads, and other various items that I sell with all of this. That'll be coming here in the next few months, and that's where you can find me at the moment. I do have Instagram, Brent Chumley, and that's about it.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap here?
I'll tell you what. Follow your dreams, do the job you love, because I don't hate life waking up every day knowing that I get to draw and paint for a living. So do what you want to do.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me on. Thank you. Thank you both.